All right, we're back for a second match here, week 4. Phyrexia All will be one league. We got Chris R. Sinkwater, so a long-time league player, been on the server since Zendikar Rising, so the very early days. But first feature match, and he's taking on John P. Goku or go home. So one of our regulars. He always steps up when a feature match needs filling up. So this feature match slot was open. Both slots are open until this afternoon, and here we are. We have a match. So what's John sound looking like over there?
Yeah, he's I believe like last week he was also running the same colors
Mm-hmm.
in a Naya
Okay.
uh, with a less concentration on the red, so he's mostly white green based. And he seems to have every color but red, so he cannot cast Luca in his hand.
Okay. I think that was it was a splash, right? For Luca and
Yeah,
maybe a couple other things. Yeah. So John, I think he got off to a hot start, but he's cooled down a bit, but he still has a 10 or he's 11-8, which is still doing okay. And Sinkwater over here, he's 4-0 this week. So uh
wow.
his overall record's at 10-7, but he started the week at 6-7. So he's on the upswing and he still has matches to play after this one. Yeah, so it looks like they're both off to a very toxic looking start here.
Yeah,
Toxic creatures on both sides, and here comes the Luca thanks to the armored scrap gorger and the completion. And Chris has a testament bearer and a Silvok battle chair and a bunch of lands in play, but nothing to really push through and get this Luca off the board.
yeah. Luca basically just says make as many 3/3s as his loyalty, essentially, when not dealt with. So
Yeah,
not as good as some of the other planeswalkers in the set, but like it's still very, very effective for what it does.
yeah. The +1 is not it's not where you want to be most of the time. You either want to be making tokens, or if it's late in the game and you have a big body, you can -4 and shoot down a couple creatures. So at least this early portion of the game is going to be all about this planeswalker. Chris has done a pretty good creature, bloated contaminator. Definitely
Okay.
better than the testament bearer that he could have otherwise cast this turn. All right, so
I don't hate the Testament Bearer actually, just because
okay, so here's
the
what
yeah
he is doing
the
now.
creatures that John could block with are like pretty valuable, and Testament Bearer trading with like not a very uh a 1/1 creature, so to speak, makes it so it actually gets a lot more value.
Yeah, so here's a Vorak. So if he's not needing a land, he can put a loyalty counter on Luca, but think he wants the land here. Yeah. All right. So what else is he holding there?
Yeah, John has quite a suite of cards. He has
Okay.
2 Ossification and 1 Filigree Silex.
All right. So he's just
Uh,
gonna start killing stuff whenever he feels the need to, and he feels the need to. Probably wants this Testament Bearer off the board here.
yeah, the Filigree Silex not going to be completely useful at the moment, considering that
Yeah, and he can
uh,
even start
he,
attacking. Yeah. Yeah, Filigree
so
Silex not really the
yeah.
card you want in this exact situation, but it's a good thing to hold on to in case you ever do need it.
So it's not often we see a Sultai mana base in this set.
Yeah, blue doesn't get a lot of love. We haven't seen a lot of islands in the feature match area. Even even in our match where they had 10 of each basics, we didn't even see too many islands. But yeah, it looks like it's a splash here. He's base green and black. Maybe it has some powerful blue cards. Maybe we'll see when we go to sideboarding or if he draws it. And John P says this planeswalker has done more than enough. I'm just gonna start attacking here, and Chris has next to no blocks that are good. He's getting attacked for 12 with only a 2/2 to defend himself.
Yeah, it looks like this match is going to wrap up shortly. If he doesn't have like a board wipe, is what comes to mind in mostly the situation. But
Yeah, not quite the colors for that. Usually you want to be white to wipe the board. Yeah, he's drawn a Lattice Blade Mantis, but he could play his Silvok Battle Chair, but he's just gonna pass the turn here. I guess he'll make him attack, but yeah, yeah.
yeah, just playing Luca on like a very safe board, you could see it just took over because his opponent didn't have an answer to it.
Yeah, Chris, like he just drew like a few creatures, but nothing of nothing of of great impact here. So we see the Planeswalker coming down early on a protected board, and Chris just didn't draw anything to deal with the Planeswalker or any of the creatures it produced. So we see that game go in the way of John. So he's looking at the board here, but once we get a look at his deck, we'll see. So Kaito Dancing Shadow looks to be his blue card here, and otherwise
Okay.
green and black looks to be very toxic. It looks like he's gone on the route of the toxic, like a bunch of toxic 2 drops, 3 Stinging Hive Master, yeah, and a
How
Vraska
many
on
how,
top of the curve. So got a
how many
couple
rot
Planeswalkers.
priests?
He has just got one of the Necrogen Rot Priest here.
Ah, okay. Like basically the staple of what makes that deck very threatening.
Yeah, that's kind of the linchpin card for that. So while we have a moment here in sideboarding, I will say that these two players actually they know each other. They go way back, so they know each other in real life, and they've never actually played each other in league. They say, well, we don't want to take losses. We don't want to give losses to each other. So they've actually never played in league, and they were quite surprised when they found out they were paired for this feature match. They both had a similar reaction, which was, oh, surprised, surprised that they're playing each other for the first official time in league here. So did John make any changes to his deck?
No, no, he just saw his deck and was like, I think I'm okay for what I saw, or maybe he's just comfortable against the black green archetype in general.
Yeah, I will say that this like Chris does have a focused toxic deck. I didn't see too much removal, and there was at least I saw at least 2 ruthless predation in his sideboard that he wasn't playing. So maybe he's just gone for the more creature heavy version and maybe less removal. But
Does he have pump spells in his deck?
I didn't I didn't get a good look at all of it, but I guess we'll see as it plays out. But it looked like it was just heavy on creatures, and he did have a couple of interactive spells I saw, but usually if you're green, you want to play your ruthless predations, and that's a very good version of the fight spell. All
Yeah.
right, so here comes Vorak. You 3 drop of choice in the green deck at common.
Does he have anything to play on turn 3? No, no.
No, well he has
Oh,
his rot priest now.
okay.
He's drawn his pestilent siphoner for turn, which he would have liked to play earlier, and this Stalker's just going to trade off for the rot priest.
Yeah, I'm curious why. Like he like the rot priest. Like I guess is a rare, but I think trading for the 3/1 you're not that you're not that sad about because you're going to be ahead on mana in that case.
Well, that 3/1 was representing corrupted all on its own.
Yeah,
All right, so here comes
that's
Luca once again on more or less a safe board. Even if he attacks it for 1, he can just take the 1. Though Chris does have he might choose to play his surprise attacker here with the Tyrannax Atrocity.
okay. Uh, I'm not. The Tyrannax Atrocity unfortunately just gets double blocked here. Like he
Yeah,
attacked Luca for with both of them, and then I guess his rot priest could get double blocked and eaten for free.
yeah. I guess he's just setting up for an attack with Death Touch next turn, perhaps.
Maybe.
See what he decides. He decided not to attack. Your opponent has a planeswalker. You have a haste creature, and you not being able to attack. Usually you want to be attacking with that. So he's gonna plus the Luca here. Is he ramping into something?
No, I think it's more he just wants to play more spells. Like just try
Yeah.
and get ahead in that way. Oh, I guess he also has a Mantis that could fight the 4/4.
Right. So this is gonna be a tough go here for Chris, based on the cards in his hand being Pestilent Siphoner, Testament Bearer, and Kaito that he cannot cast. So he's gonna have a rough time fighting through this Luca. We might see kind of like a carbon copy of what happened last game here, with just these three threes taking over the board.
And just like removal to back it up.
Yeah,
Like he has it Vanished into Eternity, which you can like pay 6 to get rid of the Testament Bearer and just kind of go on the offensive here.
yeah, that might be
Also has
worth it.
Tyvar stand. Also has Tyvar stand and Hex Gold Hoverwings in hand, so he has like a wealth of options
He
basically.
is quite literally holding all the cards here.
Yeah, yeah,
He can basically approach combat or interaction as he chooses, where Chris has a very little choice of what to do. He can basically
yeah,
choose to block or not block, but he can't interact at all.
yeah. Honestly, I don't mind like the Vanished Eternity play on the Testament Bearer if he so chose to do it.
Okay.
because from how your opponent's playing, you could tell that he doesn't have much going on, and the Testament Bearer is kind of could find a way to deal with what you have on your board. I don't know what card could be, but it could be what he needs.
Yeah, so Chris puts a swamp and a forest into the graveyard and a terramorphic expanse into his hand
Okay.
with the trigger from the Testament Bearer. So he will be able to play Kaito next turn. But Kaito, I mean, the minus ability, I guess, is okay if you're on the back foot, but the other two abilities are not the best. I mean, making something not able to attack or block is okay, but when there's multiple threats, might not be enough. So we'll see what he decides to do with the Kaito next turn, which he will be able to cast now that he's got a blue source lined up here.
Okay, so I really thought he'd use his mana up here to cast Vanish into Eternity, but I think in John's head he realized I'm super ahead right now. I'm not really the one who has to do the first move here.
Yeah, well, he's getting 3/3s for free. If those 3/3s are trading off for real cards that Chris had to pay mana for and cast out of his hand,
Yeah,
I think John's just gonna continue on that path here. He just says, "Well, I don't need to use cards to get things out of the way for the 3/3s. The 3/3s are basically all free from this one card I cast." All right, so it's blocking here. I assume there's going to be some kind of blowout.
yeah,
The Tyvar stand.
it's gonna force the Tyvar stand to be casted for X=2, so that he can kill this Rot Priest.
Yeah, Rot Priest is definitely one you want off the board here. He's okay with trading off the Lattice Blade Mantises for each other, but the Rot Priest does represent a very very annoying blocker to get through once Chris leaves
Yeah,
mana up. And Hoverwings is
and
just more trouble here for for Chris. It's not getting easier here.
yeah, it just makes it so the Pestilent Siphoner can't even take out this Luca.
No. Well, he can with Kaito, but then he's leaving Kaito open and himself open to taking a lot of damage. So if he wishes for Luca to go away, he can do that, but it's going to be at a great cost here.
Yeah,
It's going to be at Kaito's gonna die, or John might just say, well, I'll just attack him for 9 or 10 if I want to
yeah.
equip. You know, so we'll see what Chris decides to do. But either way, it's this is not where you want to be landing your planeswalker. You want to be you want to be at least an even state here with Kaito.
Yeah, like the +1 here is virtually. I mean, if you kill Luca, it's virtually just getting rid of a 3/3, another 3/3 beast that
Yeah,
opponent could potentially have. But you're really far behind already. So
yeah. Kaito is a very attacking focused planeswalker, right? It's built so that you can dominate combat and
yeah,
basically take over the game through your attacks and basically getting the advantage of using it multiple times potentially. But so he's just saying, well, I have to get this Luke off the board, and I didn't see anything in his deck that specifically deals with a host of 3/3s all at once. No board wipe. Is he just gonna vanish? Okay. I mean, I feel like he could have just equipped the wings to one of them, attack Kaido, and then dealt 6 to
yeah,
to Chris. But he just said, "Let me just use this and get him basically dead here." So even like any one removal or any one blocker
yeah.
is just not enough here. Yeah, so he's running a branch blight stalker, but as we can see, there's 5 threats here, so he has to stop 3 of them in order to live, and that is not going to be possible here. So we see we see Luca basically doing the same thing as it did last game, just creating a really unbeatable board state very very early in the game, with no real pushback, unfortunately, from Chris. Just didn't have the removal or board presence to keep up with Luca, which is a tall order to start with. So we see John taking this match. So congratulations to him, and we'll be back for our third match a little bit later.